Special guest today on the Real Talk with Real Deal Neal podcast. We got my man Bruce Sensing he's the account manager for Fox Factory Suspension, Sport Truck USA, and Ridetech.
Correct.
Did I get it right?
That's absolutely correct. Yeah.
Awesome. How you doing today?
I'm great, buddy. How are you?
I know how you're doing because you've been here most of the day. Right?
Well, just kind of making the rounds and getting some work done on the Fox F-150 out there. So just kind of doing my thing.
So that's what we've done with the Fox and BDS crew is we've had several people come here in the past few days for work or doing business with us. So it's like we can multitask, we can get a lot done.
Yep.
So Bruce is a busy man just like we are. So if we can utilize his time best, and we appreciate you doing some work with us in service.
No worries. That's what I mean. It's a two-way street.
It is.
But how have you been? How's 24 for you?
24 has been great. It's already the 10th already. The first 10 days flies by really fast. We've been really busy as well. We were stroking it in December and it's continuing, but that's it's pretty constant here.
Right.
It's pretty constant from the sales side and the custom side. It pretty is just rolling all the time.
Gotcha.
So I guess I want to start it off and for everyone that's watching, like Bruce is our guy. He's been instrumental being in charge of our account as far as, he got us all the
display parts,
the display stuff in our new showroom. Yep. Check that out. And just being great to deal with as far as facilitating what we're trying to do here. And when I first started here, we didn't deal with BDS or Fox. And that was so confusing to me because
especially with Fox right down the street in Gainesville, correct?
I know. I mean, just like having that resource so close.
Right.
But then just for me personally, like I've always been a Fox guy. I've always repped the Fox and BDS stuff just because of the quality of components.
Right.
And then just the brand is so big now. I guess start off, Bruce, tell everybody a little bit about just the companies that you work for. Give us a history of kind of what you know and what all it entails brand wise.
Well, it's a global, thing now. So pretty much Fox started in 1974. This is our 50th year.
Wow.
50th year. And right now, I could be wrong. I want to say we have like 19 companies under the Fox factory umbrella. The key ones are, going to be BDS, JKS, Zone, Method Wheels, Ridetech. That's going to be your bigger ones. And of course, we have, some of the upfitters, Shelby, Tuscany, SCA, Rocky Ridge, things like that. But yeah, it's a machine. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's all about what else can we do to touch the market? I mean, how can we improve it? What can we do? And so we got a lot of things that we have in the woodworks right now that are going to I'm not going to say change the world, but definitely make our world better than the customizing truck world and things like that. So pretty exciting stuff. But yeah, 50 years, man. This all started from Bob Fox making a dirt bike shock.
God.
And here we are now. Well over 10,000 employees. Massive locations in Michigan, California, Georgia, Indiana. So California, a lot. So we're all over the place.
Really are.
Yeah.
It's an iconic brand in itself, but then just having all of the other companies that you brought in has really just allowed us to cross-platform, give all of our customers confidence because we have confidence because we're running the same company's kits essentially, which we know are going to be quality components, and so we can reassure them that, hey, you're getting the best of the best all the way across the spectrum.
Absolutely, man. We do things a little bit different. Like BDS and JKS. It's lifetime warranty. Who does lifetime warranty on suspension parts? When I mean lifetime, ball joints, tie rod end, coil springs, leaf springs. That's huge, and it speaks a lot of volume to our customers when they're buying those products. Like, well, if they back it up by lifetime, must be pretty good stuff, And it says it on our box. Use it and abuse it. If you break something, it is what it is. We're going to see a new one, but our warranty claims and all that are very low. So we take a lot of pride in our products.
Definitely. And it definitely shows. And I can just tell that y'all have the same passion. Everyone I've dealt with associated with your companies are just share the same passion. Everyone that I've met that you work with kind of has that same mindset of, hey, we love what we do and let's try to make it the best it can possibly be.
We're not every one of us, but I would say 90% of people work for Fox are enthusiasts.
Yeah.
Whether it's on the motorsport side, the truck side, the hot rod side, we're all gearheads. So when you it's kind of like that old saying, if you, what is it? You might can help me. My grandfather would say it. Do what you love. You never work a day in your life.
That's it.
It's kind of like that. I mean, so we're all blessed to be working for Fox.
Definitely. I think it having that passion, being a gearhead, I think you pour more into your craft if you are a fan and really enjoy it. I think it makes a difference.
And the one thing that, what we get, a lot of push on and a lot of, things are always going to go bad. There's always going to be a situation. It's about how you fix a situation. So I myself, and you do as well too, you put yourself, and I do too, in those customer shoes. I mean, think about what that customer is going through right now and what you would want to do, and just make it right. I mean, just fix the problem, make it right, let's move on.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because every scenario that I do, I had that thought process. Mm-hmm. If this was me in my shoes, how would I want to be treated? How would I want this to be handled?
Absolutely.
And that'll pay off for you every single time.
Every single time. There's no doubt about it.
It does. So you have a big region, a territory. Tell us a little bit about just what areas you cover, and I guess what your day-to-day or year-to-year looks like as far as how much you travel, what you got planned.
So I am good for about 50,000 miles a year. I oversee the Carolinas, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Florida.
Dang.
So, I mean, roughly right now I'm getting close to 500 accounts. I mean, that I oversee. So that's 500, owners and general managers and technicians and sales guys that, it keeps me busy. There's no doubt about it. And plus I have that, but then also factor in about, 15 events a year.
Right.
And I mean, so when we average to go to an event, it's normally, could be 3 days. It might be 7 days. It depends on the event, what's all going on, the pre-stuff for the event. Because when you did events before, events not just a day of the show. You got a day of setup, the show, a day of breakdown, driving to and from, and all that. So it eats up a week pretty fast.
A lot involved with
a lot of involvement. Absolutely,
a lot of it. And
absolutely.
You've helped us even with that comes as well. Like anything we have, you've been instrumental on that.
Yep.
I've enjoyed like the Road Atlanta stuff. Like there's always something that y'all are involved in that's special to see.
Right.
I race ATVs. I'll talk to you about this. Mm-hmm. Hunter Hart is sponsored by y'all and Method and all that. So it's really cool to see all the different segments that Fox specifically is involved in. And I've noticed like the rock shocks on mountain bikes are not near as good as the Fox shocks on a mountain bike.
Correct.
So I've just seen like it's been proven to me in every segment like I got to roll with the Fox.
Right. I mean, so and that's very true. I mean, the technology, engineering, R&D that we put into all of our products, I mean, it would blow your mind. I mean, before a shock is released to the public, it has 1 million cycles. I mean, we literally try to break it. I mean, it's just rigorous. I mean, but I'm grateful that we have the technology and the staffing to do the testing, the R&D engineering to get the best of the best products to our end users, because that's what it's all about.
That's right.
I mean, so, but yeah.
The place in Gainesville, y'all's facility there.
Yep.
We took a tour there.
Yep.
Tell everybody about what all comes out of that.
So at the one in Gainesville, that's a fairly new location within the past 10 years, if I'm correct. A lot of your OEM stuff is built there. So all your Raptor stuff for your F-150 Raptors, your Broncos, things like that. But also a lot of your motorsport stuff, your UTV stuff, and no bicycle stuff there, but UTV stuff, motocross stuff, things like that. That's all done in the Gainesville location. The location in El Cajon, California, that one does pretty much like all your aftermarket stuff, like for, like shocks for your BDS stuff or your 2.0s or 2.5s and some 3.0 stuff. But we also have our facility in Coldwater, Michigan, and that's where a lot of your hard parts are built. That's where all your BDS stuff is built, your JKS, your Zone. But we're also actually building shocks there now as well, too. Building a lot of the 2.0 stuff and going to roll into the 2.5 stuff in 24.
That's great.
Yep.
I've seen you drive some phenomenal vehicles.
We got a few.
The F-150 that you've got here today, I'll put a picture of it on the screen now. It's legit. I love it. It's very, very unique. I love how it was done up.
Yep. So we did that one. That one we call E-Moto. It's a 22 Platinum, and we work a lot with Ford Motor Company. So that one is on our 6-inch coilover kit, methods, the whole 9. But the cool thing about it, people think, is we built that with the whole motocross theme. So the whole back has got massive slides in it, ARB compressor, ARB fridge, ramp. Whole Milwaukee toolkit, everything that a person would need if they're out riding their dirt bike stand in the back of it, the whole nine. So it's a pretty cool build.
Yeah, it's really a fully encompassed confidence if you're going off-roading or actually going to use the truck. It looks great, but it also has a lot of functionality to it with the stuff that's in the bed.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, the theory is, you can, change a tire, change a fork, change sprockets, whatever, right there on site.
That's right.
So that's,
Bruce was here not too long ago. I reviewed that video, that vehicle. I'll put the link in the description below. Watch that too. It shows you the full thing. And then even before that, you had the Bronco. I'll show a picture of that too, but tell us about that.
So the Bronco we did, I guess it'd be 3 years old this year.
I think it was, yeah.
So we set the world on fire with that. So
literally,
we took a 4-door Bronco and made it into a 2-door truck. It's never been recreated. It's the only one in the world. And like I said, I had that truck, I don't know, 6-7 months, whatever. When I would get gas, it was a 15-minute ordeal. Because no one knew what it was. It just blew everyone's mind. We literally, just like I said, and Neal will show you some pictures. We literally started with it. We cut the whole rear section out, took the back cap, slid it all the way forward, and then handcrafted the tailgate, roll pan, used all the parts off a 21 or 22 Ford Ranger and all that, and put it all back together, and there you go, a 2-door Bronco with a truck bed.
That was a special piece too. I've never seen it at SEMA in the Ford area. That was just, it blew my mind. It was like that was the star too.
It was.
You had that big huge booth, and it was like that was what everybody's attention was.
We actually took that to SEMA back to back 21 and 22, and even in 22, people were just coming up and just like all over it. It just, it's like, wow, this was a year ago, but now people love that thing. It's because it's so unique. I actually got to last year in January, took it to Barrett Jackson in Scottsdale, and you would not believe the people that wanted to buy it. Throwing around big offers. We're like, no, sir, it's not for sale, but thank you. And can you build me one? Absolutely not. Yeah. Because it I think took us, it was about 8 months. From start to finish. It was a lot of engineering, a lot, of, custom work. And that was all done in-house by our team in Coldwater. Nothing. The only thing that was farmed out was the paint. Right. We don't paint cars, of course, but, everything else was all the engineering, all the, the building, the whole tailgate mechanism, everything was done in-house.
That was a special unit for sure.
It was. And also, I think one even more so than that, and it was a couple years ago, was SD126, that regular cab, orange, wide body, diesel. That thing was what was spectacular. Very sad what happened. We lost that in a fire. There's rumors of recreating it. And calling it the Phoenix.
That's cool.
So we'll see if it comes to fruition. But like I said, that was a very, very special build also. You
guys are very creative. You also had a 2021 when that 14th Gen F-150 body style came out. You did a power boost, lifted overland style build.
Workplay.
Yeah,
Workplay. We still have that truck still in our fleet. Right now, I think that truck it's out west. So, very unique build with that. Had the whole, pretty much just like it says, work, play. You can work in it, you can play. We had the whole deck system, slide out drawers, toolkits, had your rooftop rack on it with your canopy. I had, met the wheels on it, 6-inch BDS coilover kit. Another very unique build. And it was the power boost option. If you understand the power boost, is it a hybrid? What do you think, Neal? What is the power boost? You tell me.
Yeah, so well, first off, the way the internet works, we had a customer come in here that saw the video of that vehicle, and so we duplicated it.
Right.
And then that one got kind of duplicated again by another customer. So the great accessibility of the internet really has done wonders.
Yeah.
But the power boost, I'm still old school. I'm V8 type guy, but the power boost, when that second gen came out, that really kind of, this is a powerful powertrain. It is worthy. Then the power boost, where they encompass that hybrid motor inside the transmission, is kind of mind boggling. It's kind of scary, but you got 3.5 liter twin turbo mated with that. 520 horsepower. It's like, it makes sense. And Mr. Chris Akins here, he was kind of skeptical, but
sure, yeah, I think everybody was,
everybody
right? Yeah,
was. But since then, like that's kind of been his go-to vehicle here. He loves.
Oh, really? That's his favorite.
That's what he likes.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I've drove. We have two of them in our fleet. We got the 21, that's a power boost, and the 22 is a power boost, and they're phenomenal vehicles. I mean, like I said, I mean, you know, we've pulled trailers with them. I mean, like people's like, oh, you can't tow with a V6. Ah, yeah, you can.
You can.
I mean, if you got it set up right, and you know, I mean, of course, I mean, you know, I mean, you're really not even sacrificing anything. I mean, because I've had several vehicles and all that, and you know, as long as you stay within your tow ratings of it, you're fine.
That's right.
I mean, we've had no problem towing anything. So
kind of sketchy, I guess, or not sketchy. Just it's weird if you're in certain scenarios where it's not super hot. We're using the AC and you're backing up or going forward at low speed. You don't. It's using the hybrid motor.
Exactly. Yeah.
You don't hear anything.
It kind of it freaked me out a little bit at first. I mean, because you hear nothing. I mean, you hear the AC blowing, or you know, one thing that freaked me out the first time was when you go and reverse the beeping, like so.
That too.
I'm like, what is that? You know,
that too.
I mean, but yeah, I mean, it's ultra quiet. I mean, it's very efficient, and like I said, I mean, the technology that are in these power boost models and the upper level platinums and limit and all that. I mean, Ford's got it figured out.
They do.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I don't know of another manufacturer out there that has the technology and creature comforts that Fords have.
That's right.
I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, in 2011, that first EcoBoost, it was like, man, what are they doing? They're going to go. They're going to ruin their brand.
They thought they're going to go bankrupt. They're going to go out of business. No, Ford knew what they were doing. I mean, and now look, now everybody's playing catch up.
That's right.
I mean, everybody's got, you know, has went to the, you know, the singular twin turbo V6 model for fuel economy, for reliability, and all that. So Ford was way ahead of their game.
Definitely. Are you a Ford guy? Is that, I know you're multi-brand, but is that kind of what you're partial to?
No, I do like Fords. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I've had several in my, you know, fleet over the years and all that. So I think I'm a little more old school Ford. I think my personal best is the 7.3 F250.
There we go.
I mean, it's not the fastest, it's not the quickest, but oh my God, what a workhorse.
Back when I sold, you know, early 2000s, I was actually just a good old car salesman, and we would get those things in on trade-in, man.
Oh yeah,
and it would be like a fight, like it's who could get it posted on Facebook first to get it sold to the local guy that's needing a nice reliable truck.
I mean, there's not many vehicles out there you can say that it's got 500K and it's getting broke in.
That's right.
I mean, you can't say that about a whole lot. It's a very small class to be in.
That's right.
I mean, I think it says it's time now. I mean, you know, even today, those, I mean, for a decent one, 300K, 20 grand.
They're still bringing big money.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so they're still highly desirable.
Yep. 06 to 08, Ram, Cummins 2500s, those were kind of the similar sweet spot, but still not as reliable as the.
No. I mean, to get to the Dodge, I mean, you know, it goes back to the 5.9, you know, 12, 24 valve stuff.
That's it.
I mean, but still, I mean, if I had to pick one of the two, I'm going F257 3 with a 5-speed.
Me too.
Let's go.
Let's ride.
Yeah.
You were talking about the next place you have to go. You're going to. In Florida?
I'm going down to a big location in Florida. We're going to do some sales training out there with a sales staff of about 180. So we'll get those guys, you know, trained up, and, you know, new product coming out, answer questions, little Q&A session, things like that. So
from what I see, customers in general aren't as familiar with Ridetech. Tell a little bit about Ridetech in general.
So Ridetech, you know, has been around for many years now, man, well over, I think it's 15, maybe a little bit more. But anyway, so that is our pretty much our hot rod and late model muscle car stuff. So, you know, a lot of hot rod applications, coilovers, airbags, 4-links. I mean, just, you know, all the stuff that the hot rod guys do. That's what Ridetech does. And also every component is, you know, lined up with that Fox shock. So,
definitely.
Yeah.
We've utilized it as far as the lowering kits on the Mustangs.
Those and the F-150.
And the F-150, both. We did the bag kit on the Mustangs.
That's right.
And those things sold very fast. They sold.
Did. I mean, people are, you know, still kind of, an airbag, it's not going to ride good. No. That's not the case anymore.
Well, here's how we sold a convertible out of the showroom with it on it. And the lady, the older.
Oh, it was a female.
It was a female.
Awesome.
And she's like, well, I've had many Cadillacs that had the air ride, the DeVille's back in the day.
Exactly. Yeah.
So she correlated it to, I know how that's going to be a good ride quality.
Right.
I've been looking for like a BMW convertible or something.
Yeah.
But here's a Mustang that's half the price. That's got an airbag lowering system, adjustable kit on it. It was a done deal.
And the good thing about Ridetech, I mean, just like BDS, 100% bolt in. Yep. I mean, you're not cutting nothing up. I mean, you're not, you ain't got the torch out, C-notch in the back of a truck or anything like back in the mini trucking days and all that. But no, it's came a long way. There's no doubt about it. I mean, like with cars that are equipped with struts, I mean, it's all incorporated. I mean, technology has came a long way. I mean, with the lower stuff and airbag stuff and all that. And these trucks are, and vehicles, I mean, they're really getting dialed in, really sophisticated, especially in the hot rod sector of it. I mean, you're all those cars ride like crap. Like, I mean, I'm a huge square body guy. I mean, it's a rolling trash can. But when you incorporate it with quality suspension parts, I mean, you get a good set of springs, you get a good set of shocks, get a nice spindle. It changes the whole dynamic of it, and it makes it enjoyable to drive.
Makes a big difference.
I mean, people, like I said, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I remember when airbags first came out back in, the late 90s and in the mini truck eras and all that. I mean, people are like, oh my God, it's going to ride like crap. I mean, it's going to have all these issues and all that. That's in the past. Yeah. I mean, it's done came so far and ultra reliable. I mean, with the Ridetech stuff, I mean, it's backed up by the warranty. I mean, we wouldn't back it up with as big as warranty as we do if we didn't believe in the product.
No doubt.
I mean, and now we're putting on brand new Mustangs. I mean, I mean, I mean, it's a very good situation. And also it kind of, still gives, the people, male or female, the personal touch of like, where do you want it to stand at? I mean, like, you want it ultra low? Do you want it kind of, like a static drop? Do you want it a little bit higher? I mean, they get all those things they can do like on the fly.
That's right.
I mean, so a lot of personal touches you can add to that stuff.
We had in the showroom, we would slam it.
Right.
And you'd have some people like, something's wrong.
What's wrong with the car?
In the showroom, and then some of the younger generation was like, "Oh my gosh, that's awesome!"
Yep.
So it's cool to see that dynamic.
Absolutely, absolutely.
During a year's time, what is your favorite event that you're a part of that you like to go to? What would you say?
I would say probably one of the favorites. I would probably say Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. I mean, it's a massive show, man. I mean, like I said, if you haven't been, go. And for the listeners, go. I mean, it's just, I mean, 30, 40,000 Jeeps over a week long. I mean, it's massive. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, they're, between that and Jeep Beach and Daytona and all that, I mean, those are both, very, very good shows. I mean, but, I'm a truck guy at heart. I mean, so, I don't know. It's like, the Jeep shows, there's a lot more of them and a lot more following the Jeep culture versus the truck show. So I would like to see more bigger truck shows come back out. I mean, that, there used to be like, 5 every weekend. I mean, and, they've kind of died off a little bit, but I'm hoping that can be reversed and go back to what it was back in the 90s and 2000s and all that. So,
that's right. Yeah. The Jeep definitely has like a cult-like following.
Big following.
The Mustangs do as well.
Yep.
I mean, every one of those performance type segments, the Bronco has its own big following and grouping. And I agree with you. The truck scene needs to be its own. I guess there's so many trucks out there that people just, casually see and do, but it's like if you could actually do more shows just for nice lifted custom trucks
absolutely.
Or lowered trucks, that would be a cool little spark there.
No, absolutely. I mean, and like I said, I mean, there's several truck shows that are geared toward like the older stuff, 50s, 60s, 70s, and all that, but there's just not as many truck shows for the late model stuff.
There's not.
And I mean the ones that it's a smaller show, or it's on the West Coast, or things like that. It's a little bit harder to get to.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
go. I'm sorry.
You teed it up for me on April 20th. We have our Battle of the Builds truck show.
That's right.
Car show.
Yep.
Bring anything that you got. We're going to have a nice big event, a grand opening for our showroom as well. So Saturday, April 20th, 2024, we're going to have a big event here. So y'all, that's the first time I mentioned that on camera. That's the first time. I got to get promoting that, Bruce.
You do. And I've also heard that, if you guys haven't been to Akins Ford and Wild Willies, I mean, it's a massive complex. And I've heard that you guys are pretty much clearing out the whole front lot. I mean, so you're going to have, spots available for hundreds of vehicles. I mean, correct?
We had a good turnout 2 years ago when we did our
remember that
first inaugural one. It was on the far
On the
side.
other side, yep.
That was COVID time when, it was inventory was not as great as it normally was. So we had a lot of room.
Right.
Now we're back to our normal Akins prestige of having a lot of vehicles.
Yep.
So we're trying to figure out, like, we've got 4 months to market it. We know that we're going to need a lot more space.
Absolutely.
Because it's going to be even more of a crowd for sure, we hope. So, yeah, Mr. Chris Akins and his crew is going to move all the vehicles out here on our main lot over on that side, and then we still probably are concerned about parking and
parking is probably going to be one of the challenges. I mean, but you guys got a lot around here, so you'll be able to do the truffle shuffle and make some room. So.
I think in the 60 acres that we have here, we'll find a way.
I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, I'm very excited for that event. It's going to be a big event. It's definitely on our radar to come out and participate and all that, and it should be a good time.
Be really
and like Neal said, I mean, it's not Ford Pacific. I mean, it doesn't matter if you have Chevrolet, Dodge, Mopar. Bring it out. Yep. Let's take a look at your toy and go from there.
Yeah, if you got a performance vehicle, if you got an old school vehicle, I don't care what you have. Right. If it's anything custom, like that's our lifestyle. If you're in that custom is better than stock lifestyle, then we got to have you here.
Absolutely,
we got to have it.
And it's going to be a one-day event, correct?
A one-day event.
Got you. And are you going to do like any kind of pre-registration?
Pre-registration, we'll have a Facebook group set up by the end of next week, and we'll put more information out for that. But we look forward to having a big crowd, and we got a lot of prizes and things to give away. It's going to be a great day.
Awesome.
Big time.
And also, I'm sure you guys are going to have a lot of your own vehicles here too, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, if you guys just want to come out and see what Akins Ford does firsthand, I'm sure you've seen all the social media stuff and YouTube stuff and all that, but that's great. Seeing it in person is a whole different element.
It really, so many customers that watch our videos and stuff, and it's not promotions to me. It's just like this is our life. I'm just documenting our life. Like me and Bruce were just talking. This is not like anything.
There's no script.
There's no script. Like this is just me and Bruce talking. So like I approach this from documentation. I want to showcase how great of a place this is. And that's been my philosophy from the get-go. And once people actually come here, even though they see the drone shots and all this cool stuff, once they actually come here, they're like, man, this place is pretty.
Well, just me walking around this morning, kind of, talking to people and hanging out and whatnot. I think I counted 7 or 8 Bronco Raptors. Not many dealerships. I don't know if any dealership that has 7 or 8 Bronco Raptors on the floor ready to sell right now.
I know.
That's crazy.
And we're kind of in that limbo of 20. We're kind of waiting on 24s to show up. So we usually have 20 or 30 Raptor trucks,
right,
along with that many Bronco Raptors. So we're going to get more. Once the 24s start to show up, we're going to stack them deep.
I don't think the people understand. And I've got a lot better idea, but just in a general day, what does Akins Ford sell vehicle-wise?
So typically, just going back to the last week of the month, we were consistent 50, 60, 70 cars a day.
A day. That's crazy.
And I guess like a normal generic Wednesday in the middle of the year, 10, 12, 13 cars. So typically in that, I don't want to shortchange us, but 700 to 900 vehicles is probably the average on a monthly basis.
Right.
So,
and a lot of people, so I do a lot of traveling, and don't get me wrong, your guys' name comes up a lot. People are definitely trying to figure out the secret sauce. And there's really no secret sauce. But you guys have put the time and dedication where you have Akins Ford and Wild Willies. So Wild Willies is its own separate entity inside Akins Ford. And you guys, I think, are up to, 4 sales guys, 8 technicians?
That's right.
Just for the accessory
side. And we're understaffed at both places, Bruce.
Highly. Here it is January, and you guys are booked out, 2.5 weeks.
That's right.
Which this typically is our slow season, and you guys are still rocking and rolling, and people are still waiting to get in here.
That's right.
I was talking to Bud, just a while ago, one of your service advisors on the Wild Willies side, and he has emails from Texas, Louisiana, Ohio. These aren't just people from Georgia. You guys have a massive reach now.
That's right.
Where you have, I think you guys just delivered, he was telling me, about a supercharged truck you guys built that went to Texas.
Yep.
So yeah, you guys are definitely doing it well. there's no doubt about it.
And it's, trying just to always keep perspective of and appreciative of what we have here. But, and just like you mentioned, you hit it on the head. we are successful at Wild Willies because the dealership is such a great place.
Absolutely.
Having Akins and Wild Willies, we complement each other so well to where we've almost created our own dealer within a dealer from our custom lot vehicle builds. That's been one token of it. And then just how many vehicles they sell on a month-to-month basis gives us opportunities to educate people on how they can make it better.
Now, you said something that just kind of, struck a light bulb here. So you guys have lot builds that you build that are ready to go, BDS, Fox Equip, 35, 37, so on and so forth. But the customer can also come to you, buy their truck, and you guys can customize it to what they want, correct?
And that's the most important aspect of this to me, because I love and appreciate what SCA, what Rocky Ridge, what Shelby, what all of that encompasses and represents. That's another powerhouse in itself.
Right.
But the fact that we are trying to take a more non-cookie cutter approach, as far as this customer he's a cattleman, or this guy is a weekend ball coach. What can we do to his truck that will benefit him the most? And then what's his personal taste about wheel size, width, tire size, lift size, etc. So it's really just dialing in and getting a better overall customer experience. Hey, Akins had the vehicle that I wanted in the stock form. They had some custom ones that I could kind of get an idea about what I like or don't like, and then I can really dial in and cater my build to me. So that's a great benefit.
I don't know of any other dealership, probably in the nation, where I know that I can send a customer to that the guy owns a 200-acre cattle ranch farm, and he wants to build it to ride on his property. And then also the guy that wants to F450 on 28.
That's right.
I mean, there's not many places that can that's two different spectrums. But you guys can work with any type of vehicle build, any type of terrain, whatever they want to do. Sky's the limit, right? I mean, that's awesome. I mean, that you guys can do that.
And we're not trying to toot our horn, because there's a lot of great. You're on the road, you see there's a lot of other great dealerships out there. But it's just like, man, we get so many opportunities, and the strategy that we've kind of implemented, it just seems to work, not just for us, but for our customers so well. We've kind of found that sweet spot of what our niche is, and then just like really attacking that on a daily basis of how we can, be the leader in all those aspects.
And one thing that, I think is a great aspect of your guys' business is, yes, it's called Akins Ford, but you guys aren't just Ford.
Right.
I mean, you guys have Jeep and Ram as well.
We're a superstore.
Exactly.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. So
exactly. I mean, so that's huge in itself right there, because you don't have many superstores throughout there. I mean, they're very few and far between.
My only gripe, y'all, is that we are a predominant Ford store from a sales standpoint, so that doesn't give us as many opportunities to customize Jeeps or Rams. Or Challengers or Chargers.
Right.
But we know, just as we continue to showcase those type vehicles, it's going to bring more attention to the dealership.
Absolutely.
Oh, God, they're customizing Rams. I didn't know they sold Rams, and then they get to look, and then you got a Ram purchase taking place there.
And one cool thing about it is when they come here and they buy their upfitted vehicle, it's all warranted.
That's it. Yeah.
I mean, it's all built right here by the same quality, certified Ford technicians that are going to do your regular services.
That's right.
I mean, so you guys, best of the best, technology, tools and all are in both of the shops. I mean, that can make all this work. Because let's be honest, it's getting harder and harder to work on these vehicles because they're so far advanced. I mean, so the day of the guy in the garage tuning a carburetor, that's left us.
Yeah.
I mean, we're well past that. So it does take, quality technicians that are educated and trained in that field to upfit these vehicles and do it right and safely.
That's right.
I mean, because a lot of people think, just bolt on, let it right door. It doesn't work like that.
And that's when you get to like the cost to benefit to what's the risk or reward of buying something or getting something done elsewhere because it's cheaper.
Right.
So the thing that even Mr. Brad Akins said it yesterday, it's like, the entity of Wild Willies and Akins is under one umbrella. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that we must still stick by always is the reassurance that if you have those little small or bigger issues, that you bring it right back here.
Absolutely.
You come right back here to us, because a lot of parts not y'all's products, but a lot of parts from the aftermarket side. If you read the disclaimer, basically they want you just to deal with that manufacturer directly. And and then you may be hung out to dry potentially.
Very true.
So that's
very true.
Knowing that our owner stands behind us in that, like if it's a Wild Willies issue, it's an Akins issue as well.
Correct.
Because that's huge.
Very much so. Yeah.
That brings us a lot of business because whether you're in Texas or Georgia, you want that confidence and reassurance.
Right. So you've been here since 17,
yep,
right?
That's right.
So 17 to 24. So I'm just curious, what is the wildest, most the single modification you've made to a vehicle while at Wild Willies?
Oh, let's see. I guess just some of our packages overall that, where you're changing suspension components, like some of the F450s that have the big airbag kits and stuff like that. Okay. Those are pretty far out there as far as just you're removing all of the factory. You're basically gutting the whole bottom side suspension components and replacing it. Those are pretty neat. But overall, I guess just some of the Raptors that we've done have been really special too. As far as just those, we really can dial those in from a theme standpoint, whether it be like a custom Georgia truck or a guy that owned a company that had a lot of blue and silver. We really catered a truck to him there.
Okay.
We've done some pretty. I didn't really answer that good, Bruce. We've done some crazy stuff. It's kind of, we've done so much. You got to really, I guess, harp on that and think about that.
Now I think one of my personal favorites was the F450 flatbeds.
Yeah,
that was and not just a flatbed, a color matched flatbed.
Well, see those, and I didn't answer that because those have kind of become normal to us now. Like we do those.
Yeah, but it's normal here, but it's not normal outside these 60 acres.
Sure.
I mean, it's still a huge thing, and you took that. I mean, those trucks I've seen them pop up in Texas. I've seen them pop up in Vegas. I mean, they're not just being sold here locally. Like I said, I mean, you guys have a very wide reach.
It is. And that's basically, we're taking a normal truck, taking the bed off of it and custom painting and installing a flatbed of several different models. And it's just like, once people saw that, they're like, man, well, on my farm, that would be super useful for this application, or towing my skid steer, that would be so much more useful for that. So it's really opened up a door, and I'm always searching for another niche that we can get in. It's just like, it's not from a money standpoint. It's just like, I know there's segments of customers that are looking for something, they just don't know it yet. Maybe that they may want it, like the Ford Transit vans. A lot of our ATV racers, they've found that a Ford Transit van, they can set that up for like a.
See, I didn't even think about that.
Like put some sleeping quarters in there. They can put 2 4-wheelers standing straight up.
Yeah.
Or they can put 2 dirt bikes in there, and they don't have to pull a trailer. They can just be more sufficient in driving from track to track, ride, sleep, roll.
Oh, absolutely. And I didn't think about the transit side of it. Have you guys did a transit like that yet?
We have. We sure have, yeah.
Really? I mean, was it a dirt bike, ATV, overlanding? What you guys do? Dirt bike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, motocross racer.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah. I mean,
that's so we just have barely touched in that, and there's so much opportunity there. I feel like, Bruce, that like a Can-Am or a Polaris Razor side by side that's got Fox shocks all over it.
Absolutely.
There's potential for us to get in that segment because
awesome.
People are, I mean, myself included, those are highly customizable vehicles, and a lot of those products that we can get from our same distributors and whatnot.
Right. Well, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you have your 4-wheelers and side by sides, and I've got the same toys and all as well too. I mean, to be able to do that without having a trailer behind you that's, just full of everything and weighing the vehicle down and gas mileage and being able, you're not going through a drive through, you can't park it anywhere. I mean, these are things that, make life easier when you take like a transit van, you can throw it all in the back.
That's it.
I mean, that I like that. That's pretty cool.
It's just thinking outside the box a little bit.
Right.
There's
See, that was a unique bill. Why didn't you say that?
Man,
Why didn't you say
I wouldn't prep for that one. I wouldn't. There's so much that goes on in my mind, and that so much stuff that runs through that shop. It's really hard to sit back and appreciate daily. Like, man, we just did like 5 custom Super Duties today, and a Raptor. It's like,
well, it's kind of I mean, where, it's eye candy and just mind blowing to everyone else in the world. I mean, you see it every day.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it's repetitive and not that it's not cool, because it definitely is. I mean, but like I said, I mean, seeing it firsthand, I mean, it's a very cool thing that you can, take a vehicle from a bone stock, trim level, Ford, Ram, Jeep product, and you guys can, whatever the customer wants.
That's right.
I mean, sky's the limit. I mean, like I said, I mean, but do you think there'll ever be a day where Wild Willies get into overlanding?
Yeah, well, so you teed me up again.
I'm trying to, buddy.
We have a great customer that ordered a vehicle from us. It just arrived, and he's doing right at a $82,000 build.
Okay.
On Super Duty.
Okay.
It's a trimmer, carbonized gray, platinum, and it's going to be incredible. It's going to be totally overland style, and he's going to actually functionally use it from an overland standpoint.
Right.
Yeah, so,
well, and we touched base on this. I mean, so, and it's the F-150 you said?
It's a F-250.
F-250.
Yep.
Okay. So, I mean, Ford put a lot in time and effort in the power boost system for the electricity that had all the plug-ins in the bed and things like that. So, I mean, do you think there'll be a day where you guys will build a power boost overland type rig?
We need to. We do. Well, my thoughts on the overland stuff, as far as just what we've seen from customer feedback, and this is my analogy of it. I feel like that there's more people that are pulling campers on the East Coast because the accessibility of where they're trying to go. I think more Midwest or Western folks are more catered to and this customer lives on the West Coast, so these customers are more suited for an overland build because where they go is, I guess, more remote. It's easier to go.
Oh, very much so. I mean, that crowd. I mean, this is the crowd going to Glamis, and this is the crowd going to Moab, and we don't have that here in the East Coast. I mean, we go to the Smoky Mountains, or we go to Florida, or whatever, and you pull your camper behind you. So I can definitely see it, but I have been, I've been at AOP, and I've been to the other park in Tennessee. What is it called? The big one.
Hatfield McCoy's or
not Hatfield McCoy's. No. God, I've been there every year. It's right outside Pigeon Forge. Oh my God, what is it? Windrock, yeah. So I went to Windrock a couple times last year, and I'm seeing more, overlanding stuff. I mean, I'm seeing, and what blew my mind is there was a guy, there was an older couple, and man, they had a decked out Sprinter. I mean, full living quarters. I mean, all the generators, all the lights. I mean, grill, TV. I mean, they were living life high on the hog. I mean, very, very cool build. I can actually see that, and like what you guys did for the dirt bike build.
That's right.
I mean, I can definitely see that being down the road for you guys, or probably 2024, to be honest with you.
More of that.
Absolutely.
We just need more opportunities with customers that are looking to do these style builds. That way we can showcase it more, because it's hard to do a lot vehicle that's a full-blown overland build.
Yeah.
And if it sits here, twice as long as just one that's just a baseline package of lift, wheels, and tires, and a few more things.
Right.
That kind of slows down the fire or attention on it. So I just need more of you great customers to allow us to maybe do one for you. That way we can showcase it more, because there's a definite need and place for that. It's the most self-sufficient way just to go out and get lost.
Got it. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. So we're going to build one, and we're going to go to Moab.
There we go.
I mean, that's where you got to be, man.
There we go.
I mean,
I've never been to Moab. I've never been to the King of Hammers. I need to experience this.
Hammers is a couple weeks away.
It's not far.
I mean, we can get a plane ticket today. I mean, you say the word.
I need to experience this. I need, Bruce, I would love to, I don't know what I was involved with it, but I would love to get behind the wheel and race in one of these races, like the Baja 1000 or something. I know I may not be qualified for it,
right?
But that just looks like so much fun.
No. I mean, I've never, of course, raced in it. I've been in, some of the vehicles and, in the Ultra 4 stuff and, things like that. And I've got to ride in the cars and all that. And it's a ride, man. It's so different than what we have on the East Coast. I mean, because everything on the West Coast, I mean, it's desert and dunes and things like that, and it's so different.
Suspension's got to be
Oh, it's dialed. I mean,
Gotta
like
be.
I said, we were out at Silver Lake. We went out there this past summer. A group of us did and all that. And I kid you not, there was, almost what seemed like pro mod type engines in these like buggies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. I'm talking guys that are making well over 1,000 horsepower. I mean, just out there. I mean, front tires off the ground, 3 foot high, rooster tail coming, a mile out the back, and they're not letting off. I mean, they're in it.
Having a ball.
Yeah, I mean, and that stuff, I mean, if you guys haven't seen that, you've got to get out on some of those rides.
Incredible.
I mean, it's not, I mean, it pretty much, I mean, weather's a factor out there. So they have a smaller season. So those parks are packed, every weekend. I mean, I'm talking, hundreds and thousands of side-by-sides and UTVs and ATVs and dirt bikes and full-blown buggies. I mean, it's crazy.
Man.
I mean, just a different world. I mean, in Hammers, I mean, that place is wild. I've got to go to Hammers one time, and Hammers is a week-long event. And of course, we're going to be at Hammers. We'll be out there, with Fox and BDS and all that stuff. And I mean, it's just crazy the stuff the guys are doing with these, their Rangers and their Can-Ams and things like that. It just blows your mind.
I need so while we're live, I need you to help me get out there. One way or another, help me get out there, man.
I mean, we can definitely make it happen. Like I said, I mean, we have a team that's already prepped to go out there, and they'll be out there the whole week. Just doing product. Now that I'm not on the roster to do that, but you never know what's going to happen. I mean, like I said, Delta flies every day.
I know.
I mean,
one year I will get out there.
Right, and it's definitely worth it. I mean, so you should definitely go out there and experience. I mean, even if not, Hammers. I mean, go out to Moab. I mean, go out to Glamis. I mean, go out to Silver Lake. I mean, it is just
Beautiful.
so different, man. And like, at Silver Lake, I mean, it was my first time there last year. It is literally, you have the dunes and all that, and in the same area, you're right there on one of the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, like I go over this dune and I come down. I'm like, why is there a beach there? Why is there people eating here? What is going? And it's crazy. I mean, it's nothing like what we see on the East Coast for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a different world out there.
Just got to experience it.
Right. Exactly.
As far as the Fox factory segment, it's been a huge benefit to us to have y'all shocks on the Raptor and the Bronco Raptor. That's been instrumental. And I see you kind of diving into some other brands now as well. And of course, the side-by-side market, the ATV market, all the things that you're involved in. Can you speak a little bit about just what your knowledge is, or what goes into how that came about? Do you know how the Raptor was able to have Fox shocks? Or
I don't know like every single side of it, but I do know that Ford and Fox have a great relationship. And when the Raptor came to fruition and then started building it, I mean, Ford knew they wanted a wide body desert type rig. And so I don't know if Ford reached out to Fox or if Fox reached out to Ford. I don't know who made the first line, but whoever did, it worked.
That was genius.
It worked. I mean, to go from, I mean, now we're at the 3.0 live valve stuff. I mean, and if you guys know what live valve is, I mean, it's just like what it sounds. You adjust your suspension on the fly from like, if you want it to ride soft or ride a little more rigid. I mean, it's all done on the fly. And I mean, the technology is phenomenal.
And that makes the biggest difference as far as it's the separator between a regular Bronco and a Bronco Raptor, a regular F-150 and a Raptor. People around here still have that thought process that a Raptor, not necessarily much the Bronco Raptor, we're selling those pretty good to just everyday daily driver people, but the Raptor people still tell me I don't go off road. Well, it's still a phenomenal everyday driver.
Absolutely.
The ride quality is one of the biggest benefits of both of those vehicles.
Well, it's the ride quality. It's the 500 horsepower.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just, and then you got your 37 package. I mean, it's just so much more, I mean, than just a regular F-150. And then let's not even talk about the Raptor R. I mean, oh, my God. I mean, that thing is, that thing is a monster.
It's impressive.
I mean, it's 700 horsepower, right? I mean, it's 37's factory.
Yep.
I mean, this thing's a beast. I mean, this thing is, TRX.
About, yeah.
TRX what?
Yeah, exactly. and a truck that's got 13 to 14 inches of travel along with it too.
Absolutely. I mean, this thing is. I mean, the Raptor or the Raptor R. I mean, they are, Baja ready. I mean, let's go. I mean, they're dialed into the T, and they're ready to, just do whatever they want to do. And you guys are still taking that stock platform and building better off that. That's right. Like your Indo edition and things like that. I mean, it's crazy.
And absolutely. Speak a little bit about how much people don't realize how much the aftermarket segment helps the factory segment as far as just the collaborations or feedback that Fox can give Ford on certain segments, and there's other brands too that definitely help. But there's definitely a correlation of
absolutely
aftermarket. Definitely, right. They kind of feed off each other. They give feedback back and forth about.
They do. I mean, so there used to be. I mean, going back to like the '90s and 2000s. I mean, aftermarket come out with something cool, and the OEMs they it wasn't their thing. Mm-mm. They're not going to do it. But I'll give you a case in point. I mean, so let's go back to 2000, 24 years ago. Remote start didn't exist. The aftermarket guys had on their aftermarket car alarms, and now it is standard on dang near everything you buy now.
Yep.
I mean, so that's kind of how it is. I mean, a lifted 4x4, that wasn't a thing. I mean, a couple of guys had their square bodies or your OJ style Bronco or things like that, or your F-150s, and maybe they had a 33 on there. I mean, 37s is a standard now.
It is.
I mean, 37s is where life begins.
It really is.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the OEMs are definitely, looking at what the aftermarket's doing, and their eyes are open. I mean, they see that, okay, people are buying this stuff, and I'm not equipping it with it, and I'm losing that money. So I got to play catch up. I mean, but, we're always going to keep evolving and making things better and stronger and funner and durable and things like that. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But, the OEMs have came a long way, because, there was never, it wasn't even thought of to have a vehicle with, the technology they have now or the suspension package in an OEM level vehicle.
Definitely.
But, so it's always going to keep growing. And like I said, we do feed off each other. And like I said, we work, very well with Ford Motor Company, and that they listen to us. Mm-hmm. We're 20 years ago, you're not even getting in the door. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely changed a lot over the years. And I'm glad for it, because it's made our industry better, stronger, more fun. So, with working with, companies like, Ford Motor Company and, TRD and, Jeep Rubicon and things like that.
That's right. The humbleness and the competition just makes it a direct benefit to us, the consumer.
Right.
We're both consumers at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
You and I both. So having that competition, having that feedback back and forth, really just makes our vehicles and makes what their product is better for us. A correlation to the ATV segment, Honda doesn't make Honda does not make a TRX 450R anymore.
Right.
They stopped in 2013. So Yamaha is the only major player for
what, a 450?
For a 450. So
wow. See, I didn't even know that.
So there's a few that still are old school and drive Hondas. I love a Honda, but
right.
I need a Yamaha because my son and I both have Yamahas, and we need part availability. We need accessibility to be able to, if we have an issue, get it fixed and get back on the trail or
right.
get back to racing. So that's really hindered the racing segment from the ATV standpoint, because there's been no competition. And so essentially since 2014, Yamaha hasn't changed their four-wheeler a bit.
Wow.
Because they know that the aftermarket companies are people, we're going to change those parts anyway. So it's not affecting their sales. They're still going to sell the same amount of units.
Right.
So if they had a Honda that would come back into the game and come out with a fuel injected 450 with some upgraded components that we're having to replace now because nobody else is pushing Yamaha to come out with another another latest rendition.
Right, and it's funny you said that because one of our companies that I forgot to mention is a Fox Factory owns a company called Shock Therapy.
Okay.
And Shock Therapy, what they do is they actually take the side-by-side platform and just make it that much better. I mean, they will, they can, lift your side-by-side, they can, change your shocks, they can revalve your shocks. I didn't really think about, that side of it, but I can definitely see that. I mean, so
the competition that
absolutely,
our automotive industry has is
right.
just great for all of us.
It is. I mean,
because everybody's trying to one up each other and
right.
come out with the latest and greatest and the most capable and newest shock and the most responsive this or that.
Right. So, and speaking of that, I don't think a lot of people even know how deep rooted you are, in the 4-wheeler world. I mean, well, you and your son, right?
Both of us.
I mean, so you guys have a pretty, I guess, difficult schedule, correct? I mean, I think last year, how many races last year?
There was 12 of the Grand National Cross Country, the Pro Series. There
right.
was 12 of those that we raced in all of those. And then there's smaller segments like Mid-East Racing, Southern Roots Racing. Those are your smaller level races that, kind of are in between. Like, so if you go, basically you could race every weekend if you wanted to, basically.
Oh, absolutely.
Or three times out of the month you could be racing somewhere.
Right.
And you really got to because of the endurance and just the sharpening your skills. You pretty much have to be competitive. But that's been the eye opener to me of really doing it on this national level this past year. Of like, there's so much opportunity to collaborate and connect the automotive industry and the off-road racing segment. Even dirt bikes and ATVs are so interconnected because I see everybody's pulling toy haulers or transit vans or campers or big rigs. And they all have, custom trucks, or they've got their setup, they got their suspensions, they've got the wheels and tires. They're into it.
Well, this is their passion.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, this is what they do. I mean, to get away from the normal grind of the 40-hour work week. Yep. I mean, they, load up the family, load up, the toys and all that, and they go out and go wheeling. They get out and see the world, and that's phenomenal.
It's fun.
I mean, exactly. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think me and you're a lot alike. I mean, sitting back and flipping through channels on the TV. I mean, that doesn't do it. I mean,
it's every weekend it's like, what, I'm not just going. I don't like having weekends where we're just idle. It's like, man, it's
wasted time.
If we have a weekend open, like let's do something.
Right.
Let's get outside and do something.
100%.
It make a big difference. So like for Hunter Hart, seeing him run around on Fox Shocks, that pumps me up. So even the ATV segment having y'all's products on it just really fires me up. Seeing that out there, seeing the Fox brand on the shocks, and getting his feedback for how well they perform is big time. So just both industries are so interconnected. But I didn't realize it though until I went on the national stage and saw how many people come to these events and how many people have custom trucks or have, mountain bikes with Fox shocks or have the four-wheelers or other components. And I'm always looking like, okay, BDS, rough country. Oh man, I pay a great attention.
Always,
but
absolutely.
There's so much opportunity there. So I guess I can drive myself crazy every day just thinking about all the different opportunities that are still ahead of us. So
absolutely. Like I said, I'm curious to see what 2024 is going to hold, and the new stuff we have coming out, because we've got some pretty cool stuff coming out. I mean, like
don't give me any teasers yet. they got to be patient, I guess.
No. Well, it's not really a teaser.
Yeah.
So. I think
anything you can share, Bruce? Anything you can?
Yeah, there's some stuff I can share. And something I think you'll appreciate. So today, maybe yesterday, I think Fox released the Evo, the DSC Evo shock.
Really?
So yeah, they did a small Instagram post, and so it's going to start in the motorsports, like your ATV, dirt bike stuff first, but it's going to roll into trucks in about the next year or so. but definitely a game changer versus the regular, the DSCs and the factory race series stuff and things like that. Whole different design. As a matter of fact, cue it up. Jump on Instagram and, you can see the little teaser video of the shock and all that. It's pretty cool.
Man.
It's pretty cool.
So I noticed when the 23 Super Duty came out that the Performance Elite kit started rolling out.
Absolutely, yeah.
What was the ploy behind that? Why? What was the reasoning behind what the Super Duty premiering on that one? I guess initially.
Well, the reason for that is, so you had your Raptor that came with your high end shocks and things like that, and there wasn't a whole lot for the Super Duty guys, right? There wasn't a superior shock package with a superior suspension lift kit to it. So we designed it and we worked together, and the guys in the Super, they want nice stuff.
Definitely.
They want their truck to ride nice, and that they want it to look good and have the adjustability. So we're like, hey, let's just throw it out there and see what happens. And man, did it happen? When those kits got launched, I remember calling Jonathan's like, hey, here's what's about to happen. He's like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. He's like, and I was like, look, we're launching this kit and it's not even out yet, but I'm telling you now, you need to get prepared.
Yes.
He was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, okay, I can build 100 right now and they're going to sell out in 8 hours.
Yep.
And they did.
Yep.
And thank you and Jonathan and Tim and all that for listening to me, because you guys got in early. For a lot of people that they had to wait. For the second round to come through to catch up on the shocks and the suspension products and all that. So,
but Bruce, we still probably should have ordered 3 times as much as we did.
Probably so. But it's okay now because
they sold fast.
They sold very fast, and just like when we did all the Raptor upgrades, remember that?
Yep.
I was like, look, I had these right here ready to go. Trust me that yes, it's a pricey upgrade, but they're going to move, man.
You had some people mad at us, Bruce, because the manufacturers were calling us, be like, well, okay, we heard you bought all the Raptor coilovers with a Finn remote reservoir. Yeah, great job. But we ran through them.
Oh, and it went fast.
We ran through them.
Yeah, it went very fast. And that, going to that 3.0, leveled look on that Raptor, it's just a truck looks so much better. To me, that gave us the ability to build a better 37 package. That was our take on the 37 package. It was leveled out. That superior shock technology with 37s with our spin-off. Oh, it's ideal.
So that was really huge. So
that's ideal. And you guys can still build that truck for anyone that wants it.
That's right.
It's not a problem whatsoever. We can, you guys probably, I'm sure do you have any left, or are they all gone?
No, they're gone. They're gone. But we've got a few coming down the pipeline. I got a couple of guys that are sending me their vehicles from out of state.
Okay.
And they've already told me that's what they want.
There you go. So we can definitely make that happen.
It never ends.
No, it does not. Once you build something that is just that elite, and with that high end of parts on it, with the BDS and the Fox shocks and all that, people understand what they're buying.
They do.
Anybody can go out and get a Citizen watch, but you want that Rolex.
That's it.
That's what it pulls down to, right?
Yeah.
But no, the Performance Elite line, it's been huge for us, and we're slowly fading out the factory race series stuff, which is the steel body stuff, and going to all aluminum body, which is the Performance Elite stuff and all that. But I'm curious. I haven't the new Evo stuff. I haven't seen one yet.
Yeah,
like I said, I'm curious to get that in my hand and play with it, and get in the seat and get the old butt dyno going and see how they feel.
It'll be a whole nother cycle of just
absolutely
improvements.
Absolutely. So what does so I'm gonna pick your brain. So have you seen anything like game changing that Ford's doing in 24? Have you seen any stuff yet?
The 24, obviously the 24 Mustang, they're already out. We've got 27 of them out there right now.
You got a dark horse here?
Dude, we've had 9 of them and sold them all.
But you got one here now. Like we go driving.
Bruce, if we did, we would get in trouble because
Brad's here today.
No, we'd get in trouble because it is so fun to drive.
I'm sure it is.
It is so much fun. 500 horsepower. It throws you in the
manual
seat.
Transmission, right?
Manual. You can get either way.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
you can. I've driven both.
Okay.
And I love the rev matching manual. It's incredible.
What is that?
Throws you. Yeah. So
what is that?
When you're downshifting, it'll do a rev match for you. You don't have to feather the throttle.
What?
You downshift, it rev matches, and you're back in the gas.
Oh wow.
Yeah. next time you're around or something, hopefully we got some more coming in.
Yeah.
We'll go for a cruise because they're so much fun. Like, and for the money, that's probably the best bang for the buck right there.
What do they cost?
So they're in the 58 range.
58, 500 horsepower manual transmission.
Manual transmission, and then all the new technology of the big 12-inch infotainment, the full gauge clusters, digital now, and all the different.
Now you talked about that, and you're going to educate me a little bit. So, me and you come from, we're 90s babies. I mean, that's our teenage era and all that.
Yes.
So we know all about the Fox bodies. I seen a clip, and it was a factory thing. You can change.
Probably was my video. Yeah, you can change the Fox body.
The Fox body gauges.
I think, I did it right here in the showroom one day because I found it in the showroom. I was like just cycling through, learning, just trying to learn.
Oh, so you were just playing with it?
I was just playing with, just trying to educate myself.
Yeah.
Like if I need to know everything about this vehicle, so I was just scrolling through there, and I was like. And so I went and checked another one, and it was like just to make sure. And they come with that standard. You can cycle through your gauge clusters and do sport mode, track mode, and they've got the Fox body.
So this comes on like all GT models.
GT models. It's got the Fox body gauge cluster on there.
How cool is that, man?
It fired me up.
I mean, how cool is that? I mean, for Ford to think about that, it's like people because there's still a huge following for the
Big
Fox
following.
body. I mean, I've seen those full-blown drag cars, drift cars. I mean, you name it. They're doing everything with them. I mean, so to put that, hint of, that heritage back in the new stuff is pretty cool.
That's right.
I mean, there's no doubt about it.
My father-in-law and brother-in-law and my wife, they are more hardcore Mustang folks than I am. They really kind of got me inspired and more engaged on that whole culture, and they've had multiple Fox bodies. They've had all that segment. So that really, seeing their passion for it really kind of made me pay more attention to those year models a little bit closer. Because Bruce, I was a Chevrolet guy growing up. I wasn't as much of a Ford guy. I had to get educated a little bit.
Like an OBS guy or a square body guy?
Yeah, I mean, all the above. I would
gotcha.
That was kind of like, I'm a Georgia Bulldog. I was born into it. I was kind of born into this the Chevy family.
Gotcha.
But I'm a lover of all makes and models.
We're gearheads.
Yeah. Right. We appreciate it all.
Exactly. I mean, go-kart or dump truck.
Doesn't matter. Full spectrum.
Right. There you go. Well, that's awesome, man.
It is. So when we were sitting here about to start, we were like, man, we think we can cover everything in 30 minutes. So here we are, an hour and 6 minutes later.
No, we're not.
I told you, Bruce. I told you.
Y'all got to put me on payroll.
But we're having fun.
No, we're having a blast.
We're having fun.
No, it's been a blast.
That's what it's all about. So before we end, do you have anything else you want to share or end on? Or
So I got a question for you.
Yep.
Very simple. Duct tape or zip ties?
Duct tape or zip ties?
What are you?
Zip tie.
Zip tie? Me too.
Zip tie.
Zip ties. All right, we're out.
Thank y'all so much.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.